I want to share my thoughts on the 2026 Mets, and let's just see how this season goes. There's a lot of things to be excited about, few things to be concerned. All in all, let's just see how this turns out. Francisco Lindor has been a catalyst to this team for whatever reason, right? If he does well, the team tends to do well itself. I don't know if that same pressure will apply with how deep this lineup is. I trust everybody to hit the ball right now, where last year it was kind of like if Pete Alonso or Soto or Lindor don't have that big game, then, you know, it's hard to win. I'm glad to see he recovered from his hamate bone issue. He's just known for getting hot like way late into the season. I want to see some life in June, July, even early May just get going. Obviously, I would love to see another MVP like season, and if he somehow replicates anything close to that, then again, we have one of the best shortstops in the league, if not already. Juan Soto is going to win the MVP this year over Ohtani. I honestly do not think there is a more dangerous baseball player than Juan Soto right now. I know at this point, it just sounds like every Met fan is glazing the guy. It's just what it is. He is the most reliable, most clutch, most dangerous hitter in baseball, in my opinion. I still can't believe he's on the Mets for the next 10 years. What I'm hoping out of Juan Soto is, look, obviously he's going to have an MVP-like year. He's going to have his homers. He's going to have his RBIs. He's going to have his stolen bases. I've seen glimpses of it in spring training, and you've seen it a lot in the WBC. I want my man to just have fun and be happy to be a New York Met. I'm not saying he's not happy. I just love seeing it, whether it's on the field and just like laughing with the boys. There's a couple of clips where he's chopping it up with Alvy and just having some fun. Just let loose, bro. You're literally goated. Let loose. Let that energy feed off into everybody else on the team. And I definitely think we'll see a lot of that now that he's more comfortable in this new setting. Again, Juan Soto is going to be the MVP this year. Defensively, we know what Soto's about. He's going to shift to left field. He had his best defensive year with the Padres in left field. I'm not worried about him defensively. Catch your fly balls. Hit your cutoff, man. Keep producing offensively. Bichette is one of the best pure hitters in baseball, and I think he's going to be one of the most reliable bats in this lineup. So many times the Mets have had runners in scoring positions, and whether it's Pete Alonso, Brandon Nimmo, shoot, even Lindor, whatever you want to call it, man, it always feels like we leave guys stranded. Bichette is not going to have that problem. I don't need Bo to hit 40 homers. I just need Bo to get base hits and extra base hits when there's men on base. He's probably going to have 1 year with us, which means I think he has a lot of motivation to just show out. So when he does hit the market, he could get another bag. For the time being, Bo, he just lengthens the lineup. And the only question mark is Bo playing third base. He's never played the position, and I'm not saying it's easy. I'm just saying you're transitioning from catching ground balls at short to catching ground balls at third. Yes, you have to like learn the new in-game situations, whether you got to, you know, cut off somebody or cover the bag, whatever it may be. These guys are pros at the end of the day. I think he'll adjust just fine. He's never been known as like a great defender, but I am more than confident that Bichette's going to hold his own at third base. Jorge Polanco, the biggest question mark for him is playing first base. Obviously, he's never played the position. From the bit I've seen in spring training, he holds his own. I mean, I think more than anything, I just think he has to get comfortable in the position, but once he kind of grasps that, I think he'll be fine. What I'm excited about Polanco is like he's a true pro, and last postseason with Seattle, he showed that he could come through, and he's a big bat in the lineup. My man's hit, I think, 2 bombs off of Scooble and had a few clutch moments, and I think that experience kind of will feed off into the team. I guess people will say like he's supposed to be like the Pete Alonso replacement, but you know, you're not getting 40 homers and 100 RBIs necessarily. But the way this team is constructed, man, I feel really comfortable saying when there's men on base, I trust a lot of those guys. And Polanco, without a doubt, is one of those guys I trust. Luis Robert on this team, I am so high on Luis Robert this year. Luis Robert no longer has to worry about being the superstar on this team. With the White Sox, it was literally like Robert had all this pressure of you need to kind of just show your bat out every single at bat because after you we have nobody. I also think, I mean, obviously they did something wrong where they can't keep the guy healthy on the field. Joining a new setting with the Mets where you have multiple superstars, yo, bro, take the back seat, have fun playing baseball, play your game, and focus on just being healthy. If Luis Robert stays healthy, you would have to convince me why you don't think that he could replicate the 2023 season. If Luis Robert is healthy, this guy is a $30 million guy easily, and the fact that the Mets got him without giving up so much is a huge win. Luis Robert's bat is going to impact this team much more than what I think people expect. Brett Baty's stock is only getting higher. Brett Baty could play every single position except pitch. And I'm sure a lot of guys like myself last year, I was pretty solidified like, yeah, this is going to be our everyday third baseman. He adds so much more value being able to play pretty much everything. Brett Baty, I think, has the potential to be one of the most reliable bats on the team. I think Baty is going to be one of those big clutch hitters on his team. I really do see him being someone who comes through when you need it the most. He's learning from so many guys. Brett Baty's only going to get better. I think it's something that everybody should be excited about, and I think he's going to have a really big year. Marcus Semien, without a doubt, makes this infield better. Second base has always been messed around with last year. You have this Gold Glove second baseman who's a true pro and has all these leadership qualities. To go from Jeff McNeil in that infield to the type of player Marcus Semien is, in that infield, you're going to feel the difference of that presence at second base. I think the biggest thing especially is when, Jeff has obviously been someone emotional, when, Happy Jeff has been the running joke. If he doesn't do well, you're kind of, his emotions feed off the team. You see that Jeff is like genuinely pissed. Marcus Semien, I think, is someone who will stay level-headed and understands like, if I have like bad games or bad at-bats, I understand that my impact is still being made by the way I carry myself, by the way I lead on the infield. I only think that presence is going to be just as loud throughout the season. I know his offense has not been great, but do not sleep on a healthy Semien. He's had his stints where he goes on an absolute heater like most players do, but to write off Semien as like a wasted at-bat is just crazy talk. Mark Vientos, all right, this is gonna be a funny one for me. I think the entire fan base has wrote off Mark Vientos, and understandably so. I believe in Mark Vientos. I know it's a horrible spring, a horrible WBC. I can't help but think of 2024 when I think of Mark Vientos. You could argue that the playoff run that the Mets had in 2024 stemmed from Mark Vientos' offense. You can't find or teach that type of postseason hitting. You know what I'm saying? Listen, I get it. This is really the year for Vientos to show something, or else I think he's gone. The Mets obviously still believe in him. I mean, I think everyone thought he was getting traded at some point. It only made sense. I get it. His production ain't there. I have to believe in Mark Vientos. If Mark Vientos could just give me 85 to 90% of 2024, do you understand how deep this lineup gets? I'll be rooting for dude all year, and it's gonna take a lot for me to finally give up on him. Francisco Alvarez, please stay healthy. I need somebody to make sure Frankie Alvarez stays healthy. My expectation for Alvarez is like, this is the year. This is the year, in my opinion, that he truly cements himself as the franchise catcher. The top prospect that lived up to the expectations. When Alvarez is healthy and taking good at bats, you see the raw power that this guy could bring to the team. You can't convince me otherwise. Chavez messed up his swing last year. When he came back from that minor league stint, he started tearing it up. We even see it in the spring where he's just catching raw power off the bat. For me, Alvarez, I just need him to stay healthy. If he stays healthy, I have no doubt that his game will show. Sometimes it feels like my man's made out of glass, but if he can stay healthy, we have some serious raw power in the bottom of the lineup. Carson Benge is the other guy that I am extremely high on this year. Stearns has made it clear that it's pretty much his job to lose all spring. He has completely shown out, and I'm glad that Melendez and Talkman at some point gave him a run for his money. I have a gut feeling that this kid is just built for the moment. I can't explain it. I'm not trying to be a biased guy. When you watch his at bats and watch the way he talks in these interviews and watch his game on the field, he absolutely deserves to be on the roster. I know a lot of prospects in baseball are hit or miss. I think Carson Benge could be one of the biggest hits the Mets ever had. Tyrone Taylor's gonna have that similar role. He's gonna play everywhere in the outfield. This guy is a literal cornerback playing baseball. We don't need Tyrone's at bat to do anything crazy. I would love to see him put the ball in play more. We all kind of understand what his role is gonna be on the team, and I think he's gonna do it really well. Freddie Peralta is exciting. Nobody on this team is more excited to be a New York Met than Freddie Peralta. The guy's always smiling, laughing, having a good time. He's a dog on the mound. You could just tell everyone feeds off of that energy. I be watching videos myself. I catch myself smiling like a little kid. Like, yo, bro, relax, bro. If he could make me smile through a video, imagine the energy in the clubhouse. His game speaks for itself. I don't really have to get too into it. He's gonna dominate. And what I love is the things that he's gonna be able to teach naturally to the rest of the rotation is honestly gonna just make everyone better. I would love to see Freddie Peralta be a longtime Met. Not only because he loves being a Met, I do think it's just been a while since we had a solidified ace, and we could lock that down with Peralta for the next 4 or 5 years. Nolan McClain, I honestly think, is up for even the conversation of Rookie of the Year. That's how good I think this kid's gonna be. His game talks for itself, but yeah, this guy is such a unique rookie. You don't see rookies kind of go on the mound and just have such a presence the way he does. You could tell Nolan goes on the mound and he has that mentality of like, I'm about to dominate this entire lineup. This might be the next great pitcher out of the Mets system since Jacob deGrom. He's about to have a full year. He had a full spring training. You've been around a bunch of pros. You played in the WBC. Everybody should be excited for this guy. KODAI Senga has honestly frustrated me a lot, I'll be honest. We tend to forget what he has done when he's healthy and what he has done even last year before he got got injured. And that's where my frustration comes from, is because I know what this guy could be. And it sucks to see every year him not reach that level of expectation. He should be, in my opinion, a no question ace on the team. He has shown he could go deep into innings in the past and have 8-9 Ks on any given day. He has been talking a lot about how like this spring training feels different and that he just feels like himself again. If Senga could find his true form again, then we're talking about 3 pitchers off the bat that we know could pitch in the postseason. David Peterson, right, the unsung hero. He's been dominant. He's probably been the best pitcher for us last year before Nolan came up. We have to give him his respect. Even myself, like I tend to kind of like shadow how great he actually is. I don't know why. I really don't have an answer. I literally can't tell you why, but we have to start putting some respect on his name. He's been arguably the most reliable pitcher for us last year. Clay Holmes has a full season under his belt as a starter. For what Clay Holmes is, he actually did really well last year. In the WBC, he looked really good, like dominant good. I think he's more comfortable being around a new team and just kind of understanding his new routine. All in all, I think Clay Holmes is going to shock a lot of Met fans, including myself, at how good he actually is. Sounds like Sean Manaea is going to the pen. Rightfully so, man. I mean, yo, it is what it is. 2024 feels like a one-hit wonder. I know he got injured, but even this spring training, he can't find it. He just can't find it. And I'm glad they did what they did. You paid this man to be a true starter and he's not living to that expectation. I think you just call it what it is at this point. Don't try to force it. Put him in the pen. If he finds it again, great. If not, we just have no time to waste, in my opinion. Yo, just focus on putting your best rotation out there. We got to make the playoffs this year. You know what I mean? So I'm glad they're not wasting time in that sense. You got your bullpen right with Luke Weaver, Brooks Raley, Razoban, Luis Garcia. The way I feel about the bullpen is we'll see. You know, I think the bullpen, it's a question mark. I don't know if they're going to be great. I'm sure they'll have their moments where they're all great. I don't know if it'll be like a dominant pen. I do think it's better than last year outside of obviously losing Diaz. Don't sleep on Devin Williams. I understand the bad taste he left in everyone's mouth last year. Edwin Diaz had a hard time adjusting to New York when he came over. There has been no headlines with Devin Williams lately. Why? Because he's been pitching well. I understand he's not Edwin Diaz, but don't sleep on the airbender. It was just 2 years ago where we were talking about this guy being an all-time closer. What's not to say that his first go around in New York is now over with. He understands the atmosphere and now he's back to his full form. Why not? Time will tell. I think it's something we should all look forward to rather than have the expectation that like, oh, Devin Williams lost it, he's gonna pitch bad. I don't think that's the case at all. That's generally how I feel about the 2026 Mets. I think we win the division. I think we make the playoffs. I think the only team in the division that's gonna give us problems is Atlanta, but I have no doubt we're making the playoffs this year. And after that, you just never know. If you made it this far into the video, I appreciate it. If you haven't already, feel free to follow me across all social medias at Aychlife. Again, the support has been really appreciated from the DMs, from the comments, the messages, just everyone talking about the season. I really enjoy it and I appreciate you guys taking the time out to watch my stuff. We'll see how this season goes. I'm sure obviously like every year the emotions will be everywhere. It's going to be a brand new team and most of all just enjoy it because there's probably no baseball next year, so that's that. Feel free to let me know, how do you guys feel about this team? Who are you excited about? What are you looking forward to? Who do you think is going to stand out? Thank you again for watching and supporting Aychlife. Let's have a great season.